What is up, my friends? My name's iirix, and today I'm going to be reviewing another card that I actually cannot believe it got printed. I actually read this good 5 times before I actually went, it really does that? Today's card is Mirrorwing Dragon. 3, red, gives you a 4/5 dragon, flying. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Mirrorwing Dragon, that player copies that spell for each other creature he or she controls that the spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. This card is a little tough, and I read it multiple times to make sure that your basic removal does not work. And it does work, but you usually aren't going to do it. I know I'm not going to do it. Let's think. My removal that I use frequently is Declaration in Stone. There's no way I'm going to hit this thing with Declaration in Stone if I have any creatures down, or if I have 1 or 2 and I'm willing to just pitch them, because it will copy and will target every single one of my creatures. I do play Dragonlord Ojutai at the moment, so hexproof, but that is the only safe thing in my deck. It's going to be really hard to remove this. Something I found interesting, though, was Doomblade, destroy target non-black creature, and Terror, one of the most basic kill cards for years in this game, destroys a non-black, non-artifact creature. So, outside of Standard, obviously, and Draft, where those cards do not exist, you could get rid of this thing with little impact, but I don't feel like this is going to be something that's going to be that easy to get rid of. Now, the reverse side of that, something that I like about Mirrorwing Dragon, assuming the opponent is playing it, not me playing it. If the opponent has Mirrorwing Dragon in play, and just based off my standard deck, which is Bant Collected Company, Dromoka's Command, I could target Mirrorwing Dragon to give him +1/+1, and say, make the opponent sacrifice enchantment. Who cares? Just throw the other ability away. We're just looking at the +1/+1 counter. That will target Mirrorwing, and then all other creatures that I control that are eligible targets. Meaning, for green and white, I just gave all my creatures +1/+1 counter. And that is crazy. Let's take it one step further. If you're playing, say, casual or modern, I don't think you'd play Giant Growth in modern, but we'll say casual. Mirrorwing Dragon is in play. You play Giant Growth on Mirrorwing Dragon. Your opponent's Mirrorwing Dragon. Gives him +3/+3. Well, now it copies and targets every one of your creatures, so for a single green, you just did most of the ability that is overrun. You're just missing the trample. And that is stupid ridiculous. I feel like this card, you look at it, first look, you go, wow, that is stupid good. It just locks out my removal. But then you look at it a couple more times and you start to think, well, I could actually power it up, and then it powers up all of my guys. That's not the only point I want to make on this guy. Let's also take a look at Reflector Mage. That bounces a creature to the owner's hand, and then they cannot cast spells with that same name until your next turn. Well, Mirrorwing Dragon reflects instants and sorceries. Reflector Mage, got no problem with Mirrorwing Dragon. So, you know, that's one of those things. And there are other cards that can tap it, creatures that tap it. There are other creatures, I'm sure, that can just burn it, and that'd be okay. There are a few creatures that just tap destroy. Not standard legal, but, you know, they're out there. So, there are ways around it. But at a first glance, this card looks like a mistake in printing. But it is a mythic, and it is worthy of the mythic level. I believe it's worthy of the mythic level. For draft, I'm going to say it gets a 4, because it's going to be very hard to remove this guy outside of burn, and you're going to burn your own creatures. Hopefully it works out for you, but, you know, no big deal, I suppose. Acceptable losses, you have to kind of weigh your options and kind of deal with it. There are other removal spells, like in black, but, you know, again, you're just going to have to deal with it. For standard, I'm going to have to say it's a 3.5, because you can build your deck a little bit more focused on it, and it won't be so tough to board in other things, like Clip Wings, I'm sure is already big enough for Ormondal, but this, Clip Wings, no big deal on that, because it doesn't even target Mirrorwing. Modern, a 3, I'm curious to see how it does. I don't think it's going to be played too much, but that's not to say it's not. It is an interesting card. It is a double-edged sword, though. You got to be careful no matter the format you're playing. EDH, I'm going to go 3.5, because it kind of fits in there with the theme of big things and unique abilities. That's what I've always felt EDH is big creatures, unique abilities, and building decks that just kind of express you as a player. But I feel like this is a unique enough ability that it deserves to go in almost any red EDH deck, unless it has a very dedicated theme, like, say, Duretti, where it's artifacts, and this guy does nothing for artifacts. So, that's what I have to say about Mirrorwing Dragon. If you have a different opinion, I'd like to hear it down below in the comments. If you like what I have to say, leave a like. Hey, subscribe to the channel for other reviews I'm going to be doing, and past reviews I have done. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time.